Greetings, Lighthead here. And today I'll be having a good old gander, that means look if you're from the colonies, at a recurring issue that's always kind of been hanging around in the background like rising damp, but has also become far worse in recent years. And when I say far worse, I do in fact mean catastrophically bad. Yes, I refer of course to screenwriting. Bad screenwriting.
Very bad screenwriting!
How is it, in a time when films...
Damn it, I won't say movies!
...cost such ludicrous amounts of money, they are so readily released with enough plot holes that they more closely resemble Swiss cheese than celluloid. You'd think that if it were you who were put in charge of putting an intellectual property out into the world, you would have even some small degree of concern over whether the plot made a lick of sense.
Nah.
You would be concerned about your reputation. You would be concerned about the reputations of those connected to you, and how that would affect everyone's future employment prospects.
Man, I need a job.
But no. No such respect, self or otherwise, is paid anymore.
There's no respect.
In smaller or indie release titles, you'll find the lost art of attention to detail. But the big boys simply don't appear interested.
We're not.
And that's a mentality that is quickly and assuredly destroying modern cinema.
It is.
It's why people don't bother going to the cinema anymore. Or theatre, if you're from the colonies.
Except it isn't a theatre!
Even Batman got done dirty.
I'm Batman.
The Dark Knight Rises suffered from this, and I'm not even sure how that's possible, given the evident talent, at least in the past, of Sir Christopher Nolan. I mean, he got knighted for making films. So where did the talent go? I know it was somewhere before he developed a penchant for drowning his dialogue in Hans Zimmer's bois music. I mean, really, how did people miss that Batman escaped the atomic explosion by never being in that Batwing in the first place? Because he was in the other Batwing.
How could you miss that?
There was a whole scene near the end explaining it. You even see the other Batwing.
This entire autopilot system is completely obsolete.
Please, I just need to know what I could have done to fix it.
But, Mr. Fox, it's already been fixed. Software patch. 6 months ago.
Check the ID on the patch.
Bruce Wayne.
And yes, I know Lucy has simply referred to it as the Bat. But seriously, it wasn't the tightly knit package we were used to Nolan delivering, was it?
It wasn't.
And didn't the police, all of whom for some reason decided to go into the sewers simultaneously and leave the city completely unpoliced,
Stupid policeman.
stop to consider how tactically redundant such a move was?
Nope.
Furthermore, didn't even one of them have the wherewithal to... oh, I don't know.
Open a damn manhole cover!
My brain is big and smart.
Or even not to run headlong into automatic weapon fire. It really is as though these scripts are being written by children. No, really. Actual children. If you have any doubts over this, then simply look at what cinematic gruel we've been served up recently. The Marvels featured a planet where the native inhabitants could only understand you if you're singing.
Our princess is home.
Princess?
What the actual...
The very same film expanded on the race of silly magic cats that contain pocket universes. And... well, who cares really? Morbius gave us a not really vampire creep who farts coloured vapour trails. And shoots bats at another not vampire man, and... well, who cares? It also gave us perhaps the most pathetically reachy ending to connect itself to the MCU, and fell flat on its face with that vulture nonsense.
But I think a bunch of guys like us should team up.
Lightyear gave us the weakest, I'm actually you twist.
Who are you? Now that's the question. You look good, Buzz.
In cinematic history, but who cares? And the less said about Star Trek 31, the better. In each instance, we observe the same lazy why not traits employed by actors who clearly know they're better than the detritus they're appearing in. Not that many of them are particularly talented these days.
Are you trying to start a fight?
But because said actors are more than willing to forego reputation for a fat paycheck,
Facts.
then they will continue to sell their proverbial souls for 30 pieces of silver and chug deeply on the big, scaly of Satan. That's right. And that's not even the worst of it, is it? Not by a long shot. Let's focus all our attention now on the big bad. Marvel. I gave up trying to calculate exactly how many plot holes exist in the MCU to date, so I asked the interweb to do it for me. And do you know what I discovered? Feel free to take a moment in case you want to give it a quick Google. I discovered that nobody knows. Nobody has ever tried to tally the total number of gross errors in the MCU's continuity.
Seriously?
An open-minded sort of fellow would suppose this is actually because nobody has considered doing a full tally yet. But come on, does that really seem likely to you? No.
What? Why?
Because...
It's because everybody's given up on it. If, however, you're the special kind of nutter who would actually attempt such an epic statistical venture as a means of passing time in the insane asylum, then please, feel free to let me know in the comments.
You mean...
That's correct, film fan. There is no total count of the MCU's lazy errors, because the entire thing is one big, lazy error.
Ding!
Even from the very beginning with Iron Man, we saw the foreshadowing of the plot hole saga, but we just kept watching, didn't we?
Yeah.
The pretty colours. The loud action. The increasingly revealing outfits of Scarlett Johansson.
Costume was clearly designed to accentuate her body features for the audience.
We just kept giving them our money, and they did the same old thing they always did. They said, the fans, they'll pay. And didn't we do just that?
We sure did.
I should have learned my lesson with the third X-Men abomination. And now here we are, afloat on a sea of terrible scripts and broken dreams. What a terrible, bleak place we now occupy. We hear people wonder more and more if cinema as a whole is on its last legs. Personally, I'm an optimistic sort of cove and can see the inspiration of cinema in the hearts and minds of others. But it may be that cinema in its current form is doomed. And who knows? Maybe it should be. The big budgets of old may soon give way out of necessity to an entirely new, smaller and leaner mode of filmmaking, in which indie directors get down and dirty, like Scorsese, huffing through the grim streets of New York, searching for the greasy slivers of magic which became Taxi Driver.
Oh, hello.
And then, of course, after a few decades, the exact same sort of greedy men will begin to ruin cinema production once more, bloating the budgets and producing utter rubbish until the whole thing collapses again and must be rebuilt yet again.
Oh, come on!
We don't learn terribly quickly, do we? As the man himself, Joey Swole, would state.
You need to do better.
Suck it to him, Joey. And therein lies the rub. Plot holes in modern films are really just a symptom. The true cause of this growing malady is greed. In the rush to get bums on seats, executives will callously pump out whatever unfinished garbage they can to make an extra buck. Just look at The Flash.
What the hell is even that?
Greed, in turn, of course, begets laziness, and laziness is the killer of effort.
Can't be bothered.
If more and more filmmakers continue to forgo logic and quality for spectacle,
Oh, they absolutely will.
then they will not only have failed to understand even the basic elements of what makes cinema both good and attractive to the audience, they'll kill the now constipated goose that used to frequently lay golden eggs stone dead. And nobody wants that. Ultimately, I would advise rising up, fellow enjoyers of the big screen, to demand more from these lazy, callous cads who want nothing more than to relieve you of the burden of your wallet contents. If we're going to enter into any more deals with these greedy, talentless little peddlers, then I feel that the deal should be far more balanced than it currently is. So how about this? We will pay a tenner for a ticket if you will make something worth watching.
Like and subscribe.